Hello and welcome everyone to Nerdstalgia Top 5 Live. I am your host, Tim Babb, alongside with my trio of co-hosts, Donnelly, Kyle, and Dan. How's everybody doing tonight?
Marvelous.
Doing fantastic. I'm excited.
I am ready to rock on this Monday.
Well, good.
Let's get it.
Look, we're here to make your Monday a little bit better, and we are also here to give you our top 5 of a variety of subjects so you don't have to. What we're going to start doing is we're going to start posting our top 5 lists after, and we want you guys to give us your votes. Who has the top 5 list? Remember, these are our personal top 5 lists. These are not what we consider the best of all time, but our personal favorites. I want to thank everybody for joining us out there in chat. We've got Tara in the house, Tyler, Techie, Sherry, Jeffrey. Thank you all for joining us. We are here every Monday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on YouTube Live. Thank you all for being here tonight. Donnelly, how was your week?
Week was good, man. A lot of good things happened in this past week. I was excited. There was a new Ted Lasso. That was nice to watch on the TV there. And, a lot of good shows. Mandalorian was fantastic this week. Super loved that. And, I do want to say some news broke just yesterday or today. I saw about Marvel with their show timelines. All of the launch days have been pulled from the imagery on their website and everything. So I guess they're having a whole shakeup of release days coming.
Well, listen, so the sky is falling. They're probably doing some sort of an overhaul. Everybody chill. It's all good. Karen B in the house. What's up, Karen? How are you?
Good evening.
But look, I didn't see that. I'm not going to put any stock into it. Marvel is alive and well. Disney is certainly alive and well. But I thought when you were saying you heard some big news that you were going to tell us about the Amanda Bynes news.
Yeah.
So for those
crazy timing for tonight, huh?
A little coincidence. I don't know.
We dedicate the show to her.
We dedicate tonight to Nickelodeon. We've got a great show ahead of us.
I'll cheers to that. There you go.
It's going to be a Nickelodeon-centric show. Definitely a flashback to our childhood. Not that we ever do anything like that. But big news today. Amanda Bynes was caught walking around. And for those of you who don't know her from All That, the Amanda Bynes show, she's been losing her shit for quite a while. And
Ask Ashley.
A little bit.
That's right. Ask
Ashley. I
Ashley.
don't want to talk about that.
Yeah. Wandering the streets of California in the nude. Apparently
Birthday
coming
suit, yeah.
down.
Downtown Los Angeles.
Coming down
good area.
Not the greatest area to do that.
Psychotic episode.
Somebody better ask Ashley what the hell she's doing out there. I mean, she's got an image to uphold for people like us that are still trying to enjoy what she's done.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. I don't know what's going on there, but
what's she PRing for?
I'm just always a fan of celebrity meltdowns, and I love watching celebrities just unravel right in front of us.
Yes.
I've been all about Britney Spears over the last 10 years. I'm watching her shit show of a life.
She never disappoints.
No, she doesn't. And Amanda Bynes won't either. I mean, it sounds like she's already off to a hot start, just wandering LA in the nude. So let's just keep that rolling. Kyle, how was your week?
It's fantastic. Spent a lot of time, quality time, I should say, with my son, who's a big SpongeBob fan. So he'll enjoy tonight's episode all about Nickelodeon. It's fantastic. I'm well over the dysentery at this point. I'm going to call it out. So, man, I'm just been thinking about Nickelodeon all week. So let's get it.
Absolutely. Dan,
Glad to have you back, man.
Yeah.
How was your week, Dan?
My week was pretty good, pretty average, pretty normal. I basically just kind of caught up on stuff, caught up on Mandalorian, caught up on finished Wednesday, finally finished that. Really just
finished it.
Yeah, just finished it. Yep. We kind of been playing a lot of World of Warcraft, busting through a bunch of shows basically as quickly as possible, just so we don't get spoiled on things. I care more about spoilers than she does, but finally getting caught up on that stuff. So that's good. And just sitting here with a little bit of a blue Houdini.
Oh my God.
Dude,
Oh.
wow. Wait a second.
Wow.
My daughter experienced
A
that for
jammer?
the first time this weekend at her cousin's house. Dude, she chugged like 3 of them. I was like, whoa, slow down.
She's just like,
Man. Yeah. Loved it. Wow.
You know, I'm going to put a little fun fact out about those things.
oh,
You drink too much blue drinks, and we always have a little poo talk on the show. You're going to have green poo.
Why green?
Wow.
small price to pay for
That's
this
what happens.
flavor.
Blue
explain
plus
it.
brown.
It's, I mean, not an artist or painter by any means.
I mean, you could have fooled me with what you've been putting out from those 3D prints. It looks like you're regular Bob Ross over here beating the devil out of it.
We're gonna put a little 3D outcropping.
Question though.
Oddly satisfying. Oddly satisfying.
When you're drying your brush, Donnelly, after painting, do you beat the devil out of it?
You know I do. And you know I say that as I'm doing it. It's more when I'm rinsing the brushes because I use acrylic paints. So as I'm rinsing them out and slapping them like up against the slop sink I use, it definitely beat the devil out of it every time. And I say that as I do it. You know, I would be
And
disappointed if I didn't.
Beat the devil out of it.
Speaking of watching stuff that's kind of nostalgic, I've been watching old Seinfelds on Netflix, man. Dude,
Oh, there you
it
go.
still slaps. Still
yes, it
slaps.
does.
It does.
It's
A
that
lot of
Larry
it
David
stands up,
factor,
I
man.
agree.
I feel like Seinfeld will just always hold up, no matter what time period. It could be the year 2058. Seinfeld is going to hold up always. It was, in my opinion, the greatest sitcom of all time.
You know, it's funny. I think about like modern sitcoms compared to things like Seinfeld. And in situations like that, it's amazing to look at the technology and how the technology is such a part of the storylines now. And it was so unimportant back then. Like he had a computer in his, apartment that when did he ever use that computer?
Never.
It was never used.
Show about nothing, man.
He also had a bicycle hanging in his walkway. You never saw him on a bike.
Too much
That's fair,
hassle.
too.
Bro,
Too much
I looked
work.
at the bike. I'm like, when is he ever on that thing? I literally looked at that green bike, man. Yes.
You know what that green bike looks like? It looks a lot like the Huffies that were given away on Legends of the Hidden Temple.
Ooh,
If you could figure
nice-
out that dad blasted
nice
monkey
segue.
statue,
If you could
then it
get
would-
through the shrine of the silver
temple guards.
monkey.
I would have crapped myself right then and there.
Oh man, you get ganked by a temple guard. Those guys were huge too. They were jacked. Like
Oh, you're a 10-year-old kid.
you're like, ah!
That was brutal. Like that
Oh,
was
man.
brutal. When that door opened, oh man, silver snakes for the win. I forgot about the
The
silver
hands would just come up through the foam pits and just grab
Yes,
Charles
grab
and
you.
just
Oh
pull him
my
down.
God.
Charles!
The ones in the trees, they'd be in the trees and stick the arms out.
Yes.
Yeah, right on. So
And then you had Olmec.
oh
the,
man, yep. Kurt
the
Fogg, right? Isn't he the host?
Yeah, Kurt Fogg. That's right. What happened to him? What happened?
Oh,
What's
no.
Kurt Fogg doing
No
right
idea.
now?
I don't know.
Is he walking around with Amanda Bynes? What's going on?
He's either living the life or he's working in like a rundown call center in like Temecula.
I don't know. I just see him being drunk, living in a trailer or something. That's what I
Count
imagine.
Temecula, the vampire.
That could be.
You know what did not hold up though? Legends of the Hidden Temple definitely held up. What did not hold up? Bagel Cookies in the chat says purple ketchup. Where did purple ketchup?
Dude,
end
Oh
up?
yeah, the
terrible
Heinz
idea.
purple and green
Green
ketchup
ketchup.
too. Yeah,
2002. Terrible marketing idea.
It was so bad.
Gross.
I don't know.
All the colors.
It tasted just like ketchup. It was just colored. Didn't do
If you
anything
could
for me.
disconnect your eyes from your brain, it was fine. But if you were like a visual person, it was not happening. It was not
Donnelly,
happening.
it's 2023 right now. You can't say colored. But
Got me on that one.
green
There you
ketchup,
go.
purple ketchup, all of it. Get out of here.
It's
all
red,
ketchup.
like a
I don't see the colors. They're all ketchup.
And then they had the Heinz 50. They had Tim's got an earthquake over here.
Oh.
What am I doing? Am I shaking the
I think you
screen?
dropped your meat hammers on the desk and it shook a little bit.
Oh, probably. Look,
I mean, you got your Austrian shirt on. You're going.
I've got. Oh hell yeah!
Yeah, see, he's already at 316. It might be 910, but it's 316 over there.
I'm a little heavier on the arms and the floors in here because I just downed a couple double cheeseburgers from McDonald's, some nuggets.
What color ketchup?
It was red. It was definitely red. But listen, I'm excited for tonight. I don't know about you guys, but Nickelodeon was such a staple in my childhood. I know it was a staple in your childhood. So we are going to take a little trip down memory lane tonight. And we're gonna get knee deep into some gack. We're gonna get slimed tonight. Not literally, nobody's getting slimed, but we're gonna get into it. So our top 5. You look.
We're gonna get into it like some
Checking
ants
for a
under the
bucket. It might be
refrigerator,
there.
getting some of this later.
Oh, if that ends up on your head, you'll be the hero of the episode.
You know, I didn't even think of that, but like somebody should have been slimed in tonight's episode.
Ooh,
And I cannot, for the life of me,
I don't have any slime.
get my notifications turned off for my iMessage, which is why I'm shaking the camera.
Mute
Oh.
all forever.
There's a call out
What?
to Stick Stickly in the comments there.
Stickly.
Yep, and we can, because write to me, Stick Stickly, P.O. Box 963, New York City, New York State 10108.
Yes.
Oh my God.
The flow of it was like, oh man, that would get you so pumped when
It's
you
the
hear
same
you
thing
like,
as what
he
you
was
just fucking
rhyming with
brought.
it.
You know Scruff McGruff, right? Come on.
Oh, of course.
Stickly. Oh my God. I love
Stick
it.
Stickly. Oh, dude. There's
Reptar for president 2024. Christy will totally get slime. Can we write to Stickly?
yes.
Nick at night.
Oh yeah.
Bab with the McDonald's standard. If there's anyone that knows the standard,
There you go.
order, it's this man right here. And I got the standard tonight. Two double cheeses, 2 6-piece.
Jesus.
Didn't cheeses. Now
My
here's the
cheese
deal.
Jesus.
I didn't order fries. However, when I got to the window, some dumbass charged my card for the people behind me, and it came out to like $1.10 more. And she looked so stressed out. This was the most stressful part of her entire week, and it's only Monday. So I could see the stress in her eyes, and I'm like, "Listen, it's $1.10. Okay, it's only $1.10. Why don't you just throw me a fry? Like, throw me a large fry. We'll call it
even, baby. Don't
Otherwise,
even worry
you
about
gotta
it.
you gotta void the transaction. You gotta tell
Make
the
them
people
hot though.
behind you.
Make them hot though with the salt. Yeah.
They were hot. Everything there tasted so fresh for McDonald's.
yeah.
It was spectacular. What's your standard order at McDonald's? And I know Dan, I know you eat healthier than all of us, so I don't. But in your heyday,
The
what would
I get a
you
mixed
order?
salad.
A mix salad.
What was your
Get a
order, Dan?
chicken
In your
wrap.
heyday.
The Mick disappointment. My heyday, it was probably just like quarter pounder, just good old classic quarter pounder with cheese. But nowadays it's chicken sandwich. Yeah.
Oh, like the one that's modeled after like the Popeyes chicken sandwich?
Yeah,
Comes in a bag.
Whatever the
Yeah, we
upscale.
did it.
Yeah, if it comes in a bag, it's gonna be better. Yeah.
We did a lot of chicken sandwiches runs, right, Eagle? Central Day. So yeah.
Yep. I've gotten to know pretty much every chicken sandwich at every fast food establishment around here. So yeah.
Double
That's my good.
cheeseburger, only onion, extra cheese. So I get the double cheeseburger and I just get it as is because I have a thing with like asking for customizations. So
See,
like
go ahead.
I don't like it. So I always just pick the pickles off.
I don't want to make a fuss.
See, I feel like for me, it's always going to be that's where they're going to fail. If I get the expectations, they're going to fail with any special orders.
Right? Something's
They
gonna get
never
messed up.
do it right.
And then
Bro,
Tara
what-
gets extra pickles. 30 seconds to destroy the evidence before I go on. You have to.
What?
You have to get
Oh,
rid of the
that's
evidence.
good.
Like
They
It's
got to go
almo-
back. Yeah, they got to go back to the breakfast after 10:30, man. Like that's way too early, bro. Bring it back to 24/7.
Yeah.
Egg McMuffs, man.
it
24/7
always
breakfast,
reminds
right?
me of Big Daddy,
Yeah.
where he's like, yeah, give me a
That's
sausage
me.
muffin with
That's
hash
me.
browns, and he goes in there and it's like 10:58. She's like, sorry, breakfast closed at 10:30. He's like, really? I thought it was 11.
And he tells the guy, he's
Come
like,
on.
oh, total mind blow.
Yeah,
Like, I know,
Like,
bro.
bring it back.
Total mind blow.
bring it back 24/7, man.
His eyes are all
Sweet and sour sauce all over my body. Hey, I don't hate it.
sour.
Made me order every. Didn't have a problem asking for no pickles then. Well, that's because you were getting. I didn't want the pressure. I didn't want the pressure. Speaking of, we got to get some famous lunch soon. But that being said, are you guys ready?
I'm getting there.
You getting there? You need some more time?
Yeah, I need a little more.
He's only halfway through that jammer. He's got to.
And what you know about famous lunch, boy? Woo. Those mini hot
What do I
dogs,
know
man.
about famous
Woo.
lunch?
Woo.
What do I know?
I don't know anything about it. I want to hear.
We got to
from you
do
guys.
that. We eat
What is
together
it?
all the time. Let's get it.
We'll take that one offline. Tara, just when I leave the drive-thru, it's like I'm leaving the porn shop like a dirty.
That's why the trash can right at the end of the McDonald's driveway is always just overflowing because everyone's got they're trying to just rail down 2 of the burgers because the third one they can know I had.
And there's nothing worse than when you're by yourself and you've got like an errand to run and you're like, you know what? Pull over. I'm going to get some McDonald's. So you pull into the parking lot to eat because you've got a store to go to. And you'll be sitting in your car and you happen to look over and you see someone at the car over next to you doing the same thing. It's like you both have that look of
awkwardness
out of the corner of your eye.
Embarrassment.
real quick, can we talk about when you're pulling up and you're in a small order and they're like, all right, yeah, pull into lane 1 over there. Like, no, how about I just stay right here? All right, like you still gotta give it to me. Like, what are you gonna do if I said no? I'm good here.
Yeah,
I'm not moving.
I'm interested.
You get forgotten about.
I'm interested for your experiment because I was in the drive-thru on the phone with Kyle, and they're like, "Yeah, if you could just pull ahead for me, and we'll bring it out to you." And Kyle's like, "What if you just told them no?"
Yeah, no. I'm really like, "No, I'm good here. You're straight."
Like, what are they gonna do?
What are you gonna do? Not give me my food?
Get the blocks of wood out the back and chalk my wheels, bro. We're not going anywhere. Not until I get my hot ass fries.
Yeah,
I'm not going to lane 1. That's where the cold fries go. I'm not going there.
Kyle, do that. Let me know how it works.
I don't mind when there's a line behind me, but when there's no one behind me and they're like, "Yeah, just go ahead and pull forward,"
it doesn't make any sense.
No,
doesn't make any sense.
It makes no sense. Best Coke. So, fun fact, Donnelly, I feel like if anyone here, you know this fact. Do you know why McDonald's has the best Coke?
I don't.
Because McDonald's Coke comes in steel cans. Okay, it's the only place they have an exclusive deal with Coca-Cola that their Coca-Cola gets shipped in steel cans, and there's something to do with their syrup to water ratio that's different from Coca-Cola everywhere else, and that's why it tastes so good.
Interesting. See, I don't drink cola. I didn't know that. I don't know how superior the Coke is there.
It is definitely superior.
But ice cream machine always broken. They got Coke figured out, not the ice cream.
I enjoy when I see those memes with the sign wars between, Popeyes and Chick-fil-A or McDonald's and Chick-fil-A, and they call out McDonald's ice cream machines every time.
Yes.
Yeah, the ice cream. It's funny. Everyone says the ice cream's always broken. I've actually never experienced that. Whenever I've wanted an ice cream, it's ready.
I mean, I would say probably 3 out of 5 it's broken.
Oh, yeah. I can't get no flurries over here.
So here's the deal.
McFlurries are good.
This is important stuff. We need to get into the science here behind this, okay? And then I swear the show is not a McDonald's show.
Surprise, Sydney!
I swear it's not a McDonald's show. So why does Coke seem to taste better at McDonald's? It all starts with the packaging. Typically, restaurants get their soda syrups in plastic bags, but Coca-Cola does something different for McDonald's. The fast food chain gets its Coke syrup delivered in stainless steel tanks. According to the New York Times, the material keeps the soda fresher, and your tongue can taste the difference. Once the syrup reaches the restaurant, it doesn't just become an afterthought. Both the syrup and the water, which goes through its own proper filtration methods. Oh, we got a pop
excited.
Oh, the double down.
It's pre-chilled before going into the soda fountain. Other places might rely on the dispenser itself to chill lukewarm water, but McDonald's uses insulated tubes to deliver the liquid from the fridge to the fountain, keeping the liquid as chilled as possible, according to the New York Post. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen.
None of that lukewarm bullshit. None of that.
Yo, Ronald McDonald don't play with that Coke.
I'll tell you though, if I'm going,
Ronald McDonald's got icy veins and the Coke floweth through.
If I'm going to McDonald's though, I'm getting the High C Orange. I am so glad that they brought that back.
The most chuggable fluid on the planet.
Oh my god, it's amazing.
Dude.
Right up there with Ecto Cooler.
You used to be able to buy the syrup just directly from them. You could just buy the bottles of the syrup. You get a gallon of syrup and just make your own High C. Fantastic.
Just mix it in a bathtub.
You going to McDonald's after this or what? Group field trip? Let's go.
No, I already had it. I'm running. I have McDonald's just flowing through my veins, and it's not lukewarm. It's pre-chilled.
That's why you always got that chapstick on the ready. It's right in your pocket at all times. Look, watch. Look.
Here it comes.
Ooh.
Here it comes.
There it is.
Never caught too salty. Never caught too salty.
Well, I have a very high sodium diet, so I need to carry chapstick at
You
all
keep the
times.
life water going, the chapstick
Absolutely.
coming.
But that being said, any last thoughts before we dive into the reason we're all here? And I know everyone here was hoping for more McDonald's discussion.
The Szechuan sauce, bring it back. That's all. That's all.
The McRib.
Ooh,
Oh,
Is
no,
ever
no,
gonna
no.
fuck-
no,
just
I'm
say,
right
no?
there with you, Kyle. The McRib, definitely.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Listen.
That pseudo meat, it's delicious.
That is the most
McGibber.
overrated fast food item, period, in the history of fast food. The excitement that surrounds that sandwich does not come anywhere near what it actually tastes like. I buy into the hype every year. Every fucking year, I buy into that hype. And I take one bite and I'm like, Jesus, what the hell? Like, what am I doing? Is this? I feel like it's some kind of
You
sick
hate
joke.
yourself.
Nobody likes the McRib. Nobody likes it, but everyone pretends to. And I feel like,
the sales
It's
numbers
back.
disagree with you, Tim. The sales numbers disagree.
yeah, because people like me all believe the hype and they go buy one and then they never eat it again.
That's why it's probably like the reason for the delay in release is because they wait that time for you to forget about how you had it last time. It's like the perfect amount of years. And as soon as everybody forgets, boom, drop the McRib again.
Yeah, it's true.
So Caitlin says Cumberland Farms has its own McRib sandwich now. It's food, maybe. So
99 cents.
It is, I'll tell you what, it's like $3 and it is almost spot on to the McRib.
With
It's
new
very,
nutrients.
very close.
if Justin is still in the chat, nobody
He loves Cumbies.
appreciates Cumberland Farms rib sandwiches more than that man. I can promise you that. But that being said, tonight we are all gathered here this evening for Nickelodeon and to celebrate what Nickelodeon gave us as children.
Memories.
So what we're going to do is we're going to give you our top 5 live right now, and we're going to go in descending order as always. There will be no honorable mentions.
Ah,
Justin is stating Cumbies have the best rib sandwich. I knew he was going to chime in there.
gonna have to
But-
give it a whirl.
Top 5 Nickelodeon shows of all time, specifically our childhood. This can be animated. This can be game shows. This can be live action television. This can be sitcoms. Top 5 Nickelodeon shows from our childhood. And again, I want to preface something. These lists are not the best 5 of all time. This isn't the highest rated. This isn't the universally accepted top 5.
Science has no place here.
They'd accept with McDonald's Fountain Coke. Outside of that, we're not Bill Nyeing over here for anything.
Bill
But
Donnelly, the science guy.
These are our personal top 5s, near and dear to our hearts. And after the show, I'm going to post everybody's list and everyone can vote on who had the most accurate top 5.
I like that.
That being said,
accountability. That's scary.
Dan, we're going to start with you.
I'm accountable. Ow.
And we're going to start
Don't
at
make me do stuff.
Number 5.
Number 5. All right. This is really hard, by the way. This is
Yes,
so
it
hard.
was.
When
That's
you
what
look at
they
the
said.
roster and it's not just cartoons. It's live action, this, that, and the other.
All over.
I had to go with number 5 as like one of the most stalwart, dependable for me. Like it's no matter what generation, whatever. If you grew up with it on TV, you loved it. It's SpongeBob. I got to go with that for SpongeBob because it started in 99, but it went for so long. It's gone for so long. It's got movies, it's got this, that, and the other. SpongeBob is already hacking the feed. He's made his way in here. Like he's the king. Like 99 to 2020. And I'm sure there's another movie to
99 to
come.
2020.
Yeah,
It went a long time.
99 to 2020.
That blows my mind. I did not realize that.
My
I
son
would
had a
say
SpongeBob
2023,
themed
dude.
birthday party.
Yes. Yep. It's just as popular as ever. And like, it was one of those shows where it kept that Nickelodeon feel from back then and kind of carried the torch because not much did. We had a couple shows that came a season here, a season there, but SpongeBob just carried that torch the whole way. And, some of the movies aren't very good, but some of them are, it's not all golden the whole way down, but I got to go number 5, SpongeBob.
I got to be honest. I could count on one hand the amount of SpongeBob episodes that I've watched.
Really?
Yeah. I am so in the dark on SpongeBob. It's not
Not
even
kidding. There's a lot of quality SpongeBob out there. Like, I respected it on your list, Dan.
Thank
There's
you.
a lot of quality SpongeBob out there, and it went for 2 decades.
And it remained bizarre too. Like it's
Gotta
more so the first
gotta respect
like
the
3 seasons,
duration.
but yeah, it was bizarre.
Now, Karen, I am going to it feels so weird calling you Karen, Mom, sorry. But the game show of the germaphobe, that would be Deal or No Deal, and that's Howie Mandel.
Well, no.
That's a good one.
There's that, but there was a Nickelodeon show with a
Mark
germaphobe.
Summers a germaphobe?
Mark Summers has an OCD and very, oh yeah.
I stand
historically
corrected.
clean.
He
man.
actually publicly announced it on Oprah.
Carry on.
But yeah,
And
Tim,
Oprah only lets the cleanest people on her show. I mean, you have to be a germaphobe. She will not let you on.
I am the most uncultured piece of shit on this show.
You don't have to be a piece of shit.
I mean, look at what I'm drinking, first of all. Like, if that tells you about my culture, Tyler, thank you. With me on this one. Thank you. SpongeBob sucks.
wow.
But
Can't.
Wow.
It
Can't
can't
Tell
argue.
me how you really feel, boss.
I can't argue with the success of it. 21 years. I get it.
Several
But-
feature films. Yeah, spin-offs. Camp
David
Coral.
Hasselhoff.
Like, there's been
And-
a lot.
And
Yeah.
I didn't see
Keanu
any of
Reeves
it.
is even on board with SpongeBob.
Didn't see
Their
any of
movies
it.
were pretty on point. Their movies were really good.
Yep.
Didn't
Yeah,
even know
one of
they
them
had
was a
a
little
movie.
weak, but overall, they're good.
Antonio Banderas.
Yeah. Yep.
I get it. SpongeBob number 5. It feels like it belongs there. It's not coming anywhere near my list, but
That's all right.
I respect it.
I'll take it. It's got a good home here.
Absolutely. My number 5, and this was, I'm not going to lie, this was tough because just a couple of weeks ago we ranked some animated shows and there was some crossover here. And there's a few shows that I'm like, man, like that's a Nickelodeon show.
Yeah.
And we just talked about it, but I can't leave it off the list. But for me, this was not one, this was an adult show, but coming in at number 5, and I know Dan is going to come through this camera at me for having this so low.
I'm going
You
to
were
ring
about to
you.
go way too low. You were about to go way too low on that.
I'm going
I
to
know
grudge
where
ring
going
you.
with this.
My number 5, Ren and Stimpy. The
Dan,
Ren
get
and
'em.
Stimpy
Roast 'em.
show.
You know
Roast
what?
'em.
I'm okay with that. You know what it is? I wanted
Wow.
to put it on my list, but because I put it on my number 1 slot on my last list, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give Ren and Stimpy a breather, and I'm glad you picked him up.
Okay.
Yep,
All right.
I agree 100%
Wow.
with that because I on the
It
same
needs to be
time.
somewhere.
Yep, there was so much talk about it a couple
Yeah.
weeks ago. I said, all right, we'll let that pass.
And Karen says, "Oh, gross." Listen, like
It was gross.
That's-
Though. She's not wrong.
You're
It
100% right.
that's the best part. Like I feel like
Wow.
they broke the mold
Yes.
when it came to cartoons.
MOLD.
Yeah, and it was.
There
I
you
can't
are.
wait to hear your other 4 here. That is low,
Oh,
low.
you're gonna understand why it came in at 5.
Okay.
But
All right.
listen, I think it's rightful in the number 5 slot. You guys will understand why. But it really wasn't the booger guy. Yes, and it was Nose Goblins.
Powder toast,
It
man.
was the
Powdered
Nose
Toast
Goblin.
Man. Yeah.
And listen, like they changed the way cartoons were made. There would be no South Park. There would be none of that if it wasn't for Ren and Stimpy, in my opinion.
I agree.
I
I
can't
paved
wait
the
to
way.
hear your other
Yep.
4, dude.
Yeah, you will in due time. Donnelly, number 5.
My number 5 is you know me. I always watched the weird stuff that nobody else seemed to watch, but
I know what
love-
it is already.
Do you?
I do.
What is it?
It's what's the guy's name?
Nope. Kablam.
It's not?
Kablam.
Oh,
Kablam.
Kablam.
Yes.
Yes. With, Action League Now was on it. That was like stop motion with the little action figures. Meltman.
Prometheus and Bob, one of the best things ever made.
Yeah, Prometheus and Bob was my
Yeah.
favorite segment on the show.
Yeah.
I loved it. Sniz and Fondue, just so many different things. And what I loved about it and
Yes.
what really grasped me is the intro would be these 2 kids running through comics frames of a comic book. So
Yeah.
it was like, this is this week's issue of Kablam, and they'd be running through it.
That show was so weird. It was like the closest thing to like kids got to like art, where like we would watch it and be like, I don't know narratively what's going on here, but this is art and it's awesome. Like it was one of those things like I wanted to get into stop motion, like claymation and stuff.
It
After watching
inspired
that
so
stuff,
much out of that for me.
yeah,
I
it
agree.
was so remarkable. especially for
And-
then at that time. To have that budget to do all that animation is insane.
Yeah, the different styles, because they
Yeah.
used clay, they used action figures, and then obviously drawings. So yeah, a lot of good stuff.
Agreed. That's a great pick.
That is really good.
It's down there. Like I came up when I started this list, I had like 13 shows, and that made it to the 13. And I think if I was to really extend this out, geez, got some diced onions from my double cheeseburger stuck in the old gullet here. Don't mind
Onions.
me.
Should
But,
have ordered no onions.
No, never, no
Never
onions.
do no onions.
The acid is there to kill the bacteria latent in the beef. So you need the
Exactly.
onions,
Ooh.
scientifically.
Man, Kablam probably would have been top 8 if the list went that far, but we're only
Kablam
doing
was
top
so
5.
good. So good.
Why are we depriving ourselves of honorable mentions here?
Kyle, number 5. Let's hear it.
You know what? Number 5, just because she was extremely attractive. The Secret World of Alex Mack. Ran from 94 to 98. She was in one of your favorite movies, Tim. 10 Things I Hate About You, which you quote still today.
Listen. I
just because she's hot, she gets there.
First of all, I am a sucker for a good romantic comedy.
You love that movie.
First off. Second of all, 10 Things I Hate About You is a masterpiece of a movie. That movie is
It's
underrated.
rewatchable.
It's so good.
R.I.P. Heath Ledger. R.I.P. Heath Ledger.
Yep.
Was it Julia Stiles in that one too?
Yes,
She
she
is.
was.
Yep, I never
Heath
seen
Ledger,
it.
Julia Stiles.
fell
You got all sorts of
off.
big names in that. I can't think of the actors' names, but there's a bunch of people in that you see today, and you're like, oh, I forgot they were in there.
Didn't they try and make a series out of that movie too? There was a TV series that
Did
was
they?
spawned from that. I feel like there was.
That I don't know. I don't want to speak to that because I don't want to bring down the opinion of 10 Things I Hate About You.
I've never seen it, so I can't say anything other way.
You need to watch it.
It's better than
The
bad.
show-
It's good.
You'll
the show-
love it, Donnelly. Trust me when I say you
It's
will
good.
love it.
It's good.
It is
I'll give
very
it to him.
entertaining.
It's good.
So, Secret World of Alex Mack.
That's
Yeah,
a good one.
It ran 4 seasons. So
That was a near miss on my list. A similar situation to Kablam with Tim is I was fighting for the top 5 for it, but it just didn't quite make it.
some ahead of its time CGI.
Yes, it was. Oh man, when the first time I saw her disappear into the liquid, and then she fell down the drain, and she ended up at the neighbors, and she's like, "Oh, they got to clear the hair out of their drain." I was like, "What? This is wild."
You as a kid's like, surely we're really close to a Marvel, maybe Marvel Cinematics will start soon because we have this cutting edge technology. This is
I've got a hot take.
Quicksilver.
I wonder what she's up to now.
I don't think we'd have any Marvel Studios if it wasn't for what Alex Mack was doing in those 4 seasons.
Dead on. You're dead on.
Right?
I think so, right?
Yep. It wasn't movies like The Abyss and stuff like that. No, it was Alex Mack.
groundbreaking. That silver CGI just changed the game entirely.
Yep.
No, not Terminator 2.
Yeah, oh my God.
Paved the way for Alex Mack.
Yeah, listen, I love Secret World of Alex Mack. I don't fault you for that. It's a little low, but I'll take it.
Oh,
It's,
okay.
low.
But,
It's already low.
Respect.
Hey,
Respect.
We
All
know
right.
he's a fan.
Dan, number
Yes.
4.
Yes, sir. Number 4, Clarissa Explains It All.
Yep. That was a good one.
That
Clarissa
would have been
explains
my
it all.
honorable mention. That would have been
Okay,
it.
well, that's
If we were
all.
gonna do it.
I appreciate that. No, Clarissa Explains It All was so good. Like it was. I mean, first of all, it had 65 episodes. It went 5 seasons, but it was from 1991 to 94, which is a really that was a weird era in live action kids television. There really wasn't much.
Yeah,
It was a transition period for television.
What
was being put out. It really
because you had super wacky, weird, like Ren and Stimpy kind of stuff, and then you had game shows. Like you didn't have this weird, it was kind of like kid and preteen drama, really. But they did a really good job of tackling a lot of the family dynamic, issues at the time, which I know divorce was super, prevalent at the time, especially. So they did a lot of stuff with someone's friend would get divorced or all that stuff. So they did a lot of those hot button, topics back then. But I mean, just remember do you remember how annoying Ferguson was?
Yes.
The stepbrother, they purposely made him the most annoying.
They were biological brothers. But
yeah,
yes, he was
the rest of the
so-
family was normal, but Ferguson was like, "Yeah, we'll see about
needed a
that,
throw punch.
Clarissa.
Always
You're not
scheming, always
going
trying
nowhere."
to create a business, wearing pocket protectors.
Yeah.
Sam coming in through the window. I always wanted my own entrance
Through the
scene
window.
after seeing Sam hop in the window with the strum of the guitar.
Mhm. And you know what I
Damn,
appreciate
Melissa.
though?
right.
Yeah.
The low hanging fruit where they could have just had them be boyfriend and girlfriend, but they didn't even end up doing that. It was like it was the low hanging fruit, so they didn't even do that. So it was
Takeout.
like, Turd Ferguson in the chat. Yes. She would
Is
try to
Melissa
be
Joan
sneaking out to go
Hart-
to a movie, and he would just throw like a whole like pile of Campbell soup cans down the stairs and be like, "Mom, she's trying to leave." Like, shut up, Ferguson. She gets so mad.
Is Melissa
I
Joan
just love
Hart
the
no
show.
more for Clarissa Explains It All or Sabrina the Teenage Witch?
Sabrina the Teenage Witch, I think, was her bigger role.
I don't know.
Just no more for that.
I
It's a
watched
toss-up.
Clarissa. I didn't watch Sabrina really.
Right?
I would
I
say
watched them both.
Sabrina was probably the bigger show, but
Probably was, but not.
I mean,
for
it
me.
spawned a TV movie as well. So
Oh yeah,
that is true.
yeah. Sam, yeah. Like the characters in that
Solid
show. were so
show.
good.
it was.
Yeah.
Ahead of its
It was.
time.
You guys
It
know
was.
the last name of the family from that show?
What's that?
Do you know the last name of the family?
No.
Darling.
There it is. Yep.
Wow.
They were the
Wow.
Darling, the Darling family. So it was like,
Yep.
Dan's got it all on DVD, I think.
I don't actually. That's
And
probably
the
one of
mom-
the few I
The
don't.
mom was like a hippie, she was all new age, whatever.
Janet
Darling. Yep.
Janet Darling. Yeah.
Oh,
That I would not have gotten that.
They were just,
Yeah.
anywhere
Nah, me
Middletown
neither.
America family. So like they had to tackle all of those dynamic, issues. And like, it was a really I learned a lot as a kid from that because you saw a lot of different, things that maybe you didn't see in your normal childhood or whatever.
Yep.
So
wow.
Remember the episode with the roller derby?
vaguely, yeah, for sure.
I got so many fond memories of that show. It didn't make my
The
list.
one
but
that always stood out to me
Still-
that I remember the best was the Halloween episode where the parents were away and they got locked in the basement and Ferguson was like messing with her, and then it turned out that like he wasn't the one behind whatever was happening. It was just like this whole thing, and
Yep.
it was. I remember at the time when I saw it as a kid, it was a little scary, but it was like the dumbest premise where they just got locked in a basement for a bit, and that was about it. So, but yeah, the show is so good. Yeah.
stand-up
Number
show. Good
4.
choice. Good pick.
Thank you.
Wow.
I agree. That just
It's up there.
it didn't make my list, but had we done an honorable mention, it
It was
might have.
honorable for me.
I
It
can
was
see that.
honorable for me.
Mhm.
Yeah, it might have. But yeah, I respect that. We're at number 4, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So my number 4, we don't need to dive in too deeply because we already discussed it, but Secret World of Alex Mack.
Mhm.
First of all, the intro to that show,
Yeah.
when we talk about the intro, the Secret World of Alex Mack was spectacular. The premise of the show was great. And she just turned into silver slime
Yep.
to get away and to
Anamorphic.
fly.
She can move it, control it, wherever she
Very
wants.
Nickelodeon of her with the slime.
And when you would be in her first person, listening to the surroundings as the silver slime, like forget it.
Didn't they use like that fishbowl lens?
Yes,
you would
they
be in the
did
first
use
person with it.
exactly what
Yep.
they did. Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
So she will always be Clarissa to me. Hey, I don't disagree.
Yeah.
Next time,
Good
get a
question.
Paps and a triple cheeseburger. Now that's an idea because usually I go with 2 doubles, but maybe I can kill 2 birds or 3 birds with 2 stones and just
I
get a
mean,
triple cheeseburger.
It sounds to me like you're going to get 6
You're
patties.
fractions, man.
Sounds like a clogged artery.
You're going to get 2 triples.
We got some
Oh,
shout outs.
Pete, Pete.
I'll tell you.
I don't
yeah,
want to
yeah.
get ahead. I don't want to get ahead of
Another
it.
honorable
Yeah,
mention.
they're calling out some good stuff out there.
They are.
Woo,
And
Animorph.
I love
Right.
shouting out the comments
love
and
the
keep
Animorph.
it going,
So
but I
good.
don't want to spoil if it's on anybody's
Yeah.
list.
That's true.
But that is my number 4. Donnelly, over to you for number 4.
My number 4 was a very short-lived series, only 2 seasons, but I think we all remember it very fondly. Took place in a little area called Camp Anawana. Yep, and I do hold it in my heart.
Oh man.
Salute your shorts.
Yeah.
Yo.
Got donkey
Yeah.
lip.
Think
and
about
butt
you.
naked
It
and
makes us
sponge
want
and,
to fart.
say it right or pay the price.
Get it right or pay the price.
What were you gonna say, Kyle?
That's dude, that slaps. That slaps. That
This
show,
thing came
man.
apart.
Wow.
Camp Anawana,
Donkey
we hold
lips.
you in our heart.
You still
And
know
when
the
we
song.
think about you, the thing came apart.
Remember Donkey
Donkey
Lips?
Lips?
Donkey lips.
Yeah,
Dude,
Donkey Lips,
fantastic.
man.
That
That's
poor
all I
guy.
think about.
Yep.
Poor guy.
Oh, and Buttnick with the mullet.
Butnick. Donkey
They were
Lips
so
and
mean
Butnick.
to that kid.
Sponge. The kid was Sponge with the glasses. They picked on him all the time.
They were mean to
Yes.
Donkey Lips too. They'd find something gross. They'd be like,
Donkey Lips.
He was like
kind of
Slacky.
yeah, but they'd be
Buttnick
like,
was in Terminator 2.
Yes,
True.
he was.
True.
He was the
Well-known
best
fact.
friend of what's
got
his
the
name
last
there?
laugh.
Yeah, you're right.
Yep. John. Yeah.
Kid Retainer.
Oh my God. I did not realize he was in Terminator 2. He was
He
in
was.
Terminator,
Gross.
right?
Like, here, make Donkey Lips eat it. He's a fat, gross weirdo.
Remember the
And you'd be like,
John's
come on,
buddy,
guys, I don't
yeah.
want to eat it. Like, don't you want to be popular, Donkey Lips? He's like, yeah. And he just remember he would eat the macaroni, the raw macaroni. It was like the art project.
Yeah, they were doing it for
macaroni.
the.
He would just rip it off art and just like shattering it in his mouth. He's like, I know you're not enjoying that meal. That's not good for you. Why didn't you just get the good cooked spaghetti that's right over there?
Oh,
And
yeah.
he was just a mess. He was a nightmare.
I want to share Monty's comments so bad, but I can't because it's going to spoil my own list. So we're gonna move forward to Kyle.
Monty's calling a lot of them.
Kyle, number 3?
4.
You haven't done your 4 yet?
Nope.
Okay.
I haven't done my 4 yet. No. Number 4, gotta go with Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Ooh.
Oh, okay. All
Are You
right.
Afraid of the
Little
Dark? Little low. Okay.
That is a little
I
low.
agree. That is a little low.
I
I've
remember.
never said that before.
It's a little low. Okay. I remember, man, as a kid, there was one episode, and I think it was even like it almost felt like a Goosebumps episode too. But I remember I was scared to go to my friend's basement to grab something when I was leaving one Saturday night, and I didn't even want to like go downstairs. I was so afraid of the episode. I was like 8 years old. I was like, man. Ran from 94 to 2000. Yeah, especially like the vampire coming out of the movie screen.
There was the one with the dollhouse. Oh,
yeah.
The
they
dollhouse
always
was really
had that
good.
weird doctor guy.
Yeah.
Fink,
Right.
Richard Fink.
Oh, yeah.
Richard Fink. Yes,
He was in
Yeah.
so many episodes. Or the one with they got lost in the woods.
he's the only reoccurring character I think they ever used.
Yep.
Yeah,
Donkey,
man.
now,
There were some
fun fact is
episodes-
Buttnick was featured in an episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark as well.
There were some
He was in
episodes that
everything.
stayed with you. They
Was he
stayed with
really?
you, man.
Budnick?
I can't remember which one it was, but I remember being like, "Whoa, Buttnick's in Are You Afraid of the Dark?"
They're doing the crossovers.
Yes.
But 94 to 2000 had a long run. And again, some episodes really scared the living shit out of you as a
For
kid.
real.
So
Oh, do you remember when they used the
Yeah.
fear to make the soup? And the adults
Yes,
were
I
eating
do.
the fear seed out of the children's
Yes,
fear?
I do.
The pinball episode.
yeah.
The one
These
that
kids
freaked
just-
me out that's the
Yeah.
longest by far was the clown with the blue stuff pouring out of his mouth.
That was the
Anyone
goo.
remember?
It was the brain
Yes.
control goo. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
man, I'm getting chills thinking about it.
That
The
was
bus driver turns around and it just yeah.
She
It
brings up a
did.
good point. Didn't it come
There
back?
was a revival.
It
They
did,
had
and
a
it was
revival a
actually
couple years
fairly
ago,
decent.
yeah.
I don't know if anybody else
Revival.
watched it. I definitely watched it. I believe it's on Paramount. If you have
I heard it was
Paramount.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it
Everyone
was
had
fairly
one
decent.
episode that permanently scarred them. It's so true.
Yeah.
The clown, the
Vampire at the movie
Terrifier
theater
episode.
really got me.
The swing moving in the opening
Yeah.
segment,
The
absolutely.
creak of that like
Yeah.
door.
Yeah,
Some
when you
creepy
watch
shit,
that
man.
intro, it's a piece of art. Like that intro was so it was like it was like genetically and scientifically made just so it would make the hair on your back of your neck stand up. Like it's so creepy to this day.
The
Just
little
like
giggle.
the swing, that wah sound, like the skateboard in the attic. Like it was so creepy.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So it messed up a couple Saturday night dreams, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Number 3. That's a great pick, but too low. Dan, number 3.
Too low? All right.
Submitted for your approval of the Midnight Society. Are You Afraid of the Dark is number 3 for me.
No.
Yeah.
I'm still in Thunder over here.
A little low.
I'm still
Yeah,
yeah,
but
I
it's
agree
okay
with
though.
you.
It's back to back, so we can just give it more time. You know, it's
That's true.
Give him more
That's
time.
true.
We accepted it.
that show. Yeah, so many good episodes, but like the clown episode, like the carnival where they would take the kids, and like like the pinball episode, like they were all like fever dreams. Like when you were a kid and you had the flu, and you were just, I mean, your parents were winding the Robitussin to you, and you were just tripping out at night. Like that's the kind of stuff your brain would come up with. Was exactly like the Twilight Zone for kids was what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, number 3 for me for the Are You Afraid of the
Our
Dark?
introduction to horror, pretty much, you know.
It was. I mean, it was a huge part of it because
It wasn't my
that,
introduction to horror.
it was,
Yeah,
it was
you
a
were-
big
you
one
were
for me
thrown in the
because it was
mix,
like
really.
It was the
Yeah.
first, like I think, horror series designed for children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, it was like it scared you, but you
Right.
liked it, so you were like, okay, I understand what this
Yeah.
horror thing's about. Yeah,
My first introduction to horror, I believe, was Nightmare on Elm Street, the original. I was probably 7 or 8 years old, maybe 6. And my Aunt Diane,
Guts everywhere.
my Aunt Diane, and she had bookshelves loaded with VHS tapes, okay? Loaded with VHS tapes. And it was she loved horror movies. So my sister and I would go over to her house every couple of weeks, and it was like a Blockbuster Video in there. We'd go in, we'd grab a couple, we'd take them home with us, and then the next week we'd bring those 2 back, swap them out for 2 more, pop them in the VCR. I mean, I was way too young to be watching that stuff, but like it made me who I am today. So at the end of the day, I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing.
Yeah.
But
I'll
here we
kill
are.
on the weekends.
I think it's
All
good
right,
for you.
all right.
Yeah,
My
here we
introduction
are.
was about the same age, also with Nightmare on Elm Street, but it was the one that was subtitled "The Dream Warriors," where these kids
the
were in
third
like a mental
one.
hospital together. Number
That's
3, is that which
That's
one it
the
is?
third
Yep.
one with the syringes for the
yeah.
fingers. Yeah, absolutely. That's one of the best.
Yep,
That
similar
is absolutely
situation.
one of the
Shouldn't
best.
have been
The hero-
watching it, but we
Heroin
found it.
addict has him in her dream with all the syringes. Oh my
Yep.
god, it's so brutal.
Didn't understand when I was
Savage.
6 years old what all that meant, but now I do.
Yep, absolutely.
Now that I understand what hepatitis A through Z is, I'm really afraid of all those needle hands.
Too soon. Kyle's mother has Hep B, so we don't want to.
Sorry to hear that.
I know
Very
she's
sorry.
doing better now, though, right?
Yeah.
Is she?
Yeah.
Good.
All
Good.
set.
I'm glad.
It wasn't due to
That's
any
rare.
nightmare beast, though.
What's that?
I said it wasn't due to a nightmare beast, though. It was just
No, I don't think it was a nightmare.
If it was, I think we have bigger concerns.
all right. I needed to ask because
Similar-
I need
similar.
to sleep good tonight. So
Similar, probably the vaccine. Who knows?
it was probably-
Easy.
Moving along.
Easy.
Whoa.
Easy.
Whoa.
Tim, you're number 3.
Woo.
My number 3. On that note, we're just gonna throw something up here. My number 3 is pretty straightforward.
There it is.
It
Yes.
is Real Monsters.
Ickis, Oblina, and Crumb.
the righteous
Yes.
pit hair. Look at that pit hair.
It was so good, and the teacher and Donnelly helped me out.
Oh, I can't remember his name now. Monty, do you know the name?
Oh
Calling out
man,
to the chat.
I cannot think of the teacher, but he was actually creeped me out a bit as a kid.
Yep, he wore those red high heel shoes on all 4
Yes,
feet.
yes, he did. Yep.
Yep.
So listen, we talked about revolutionary cartoons. We talked about Ren and Stimpy. Like this was kind of dirty, a little edgy. There was some creepy stuff going on in this show. It felt really, really gritty and different. And there was something about it. Grumble, yes.
Yes,
it was
the Grumble.
I was just
The
gonna say
It was
grumble.
the Grumble.
Yep.
You're right. So I had the figures. I had all the toys. Every one of these. I don't even remember who made those toys. I had to rebuy them like mint. Like,
They're
just to have them
really
because,
cool.
like literally he had like the actual like real pit hair in his armpit. It was amazing. These figures were great. But yes, the Grumble, which I don't think if they made a Grumble figure, I didn't own it. I owned all the rest. But that show just stands out to me. I think it ran 4 seasons, I believe. I was
Did
like
it? Yeah.
50
That's
or
pretty good.
55 episodes, something like that.
Yeah,
And
that's
it's
pretty
one
good.
that's I find is forgotten a lot. But I think it's an underrated show that deserves more credit than it actually gets.
It was so good.
It was a
Yes.
good show. I do have a favorite episode of that show.
What's that?
It's the one where Ickis gets the dog, and they're not allowed to have dogs when they're living in the dump.
Yes,
And then the
yes.
patrons keeping it quiet
And
and
it was-
feeding it, and
Is he named it Mucus, and he had that song Ickis
Yes.
and Mucus. He's not
Oh
a
my God.
virus. Please don't call him or something. Don't call him pus drool.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
yeah, that show.
That
was
like
great.
ushered in the next era of like a Nicktoon animation.
It did.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
did. That was the good
Yeah.
segue when all those other shows started coming
Yeah.
on the scene. Yep.
94 to 97.
Right,
That
right.
was
Because the original Nicktoon animation was like the 91s that dropped. So yeah, that was like the
Yep.
next.
It was springboarding off
Next
of the
era.
Rugrats kind of
Right.
wave.
Yep.
Yeah, it was
Oh,
like
yeah.
that Klasky Kachupo kind of whatever, Kasupo, whatever it is.
Yeah. Klasky
Number-
Supo.
Klasky
Number-
Supo.
Mhm.
3 Donnelly.
My number 3 was my second introduction to comedy sketch shows. The first was also a Nickelodeon show that did not make my list because I just was too young for it. I feel like, and I don't know if it's on anybody else's list, so I don't want to throw it out there. But this one is All That. But I'm only talking earlier, All That, like up to season 7, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once they started changing the cast members around, but when I'm talking about like Lori Beth Denberg and Keenan Thompson and Kel Mitchell and all of the original cast members, Josh Server, I think he was on like the whole thing.
Josh Server did, I think, the second longest shift on that show. Yeah.
Keenan and Kel, man. Hey, it was SNL for kids, dude.
It was. Well, it was SNL.
Keenan's on there now,
I know. Keenan's on SNL now. I know. He's the only one that I feel like is still doing things out of that original cast.
Oh, he was born for that role. He was born for it.
Who was Lori Beth the thicker one all the way to the
right?
Oh
yeah, she was the
big.
She was a librarian
in the right corner there.
She was funny, man.
Yep, I love.
What's she doing?
She
was funny, man.
Learning French with Pierre Escargot.
Yep,
the best ever. He'd be in the bathtub.
I thought
he would say the most ridiculous statements.
I thought she was like one of the best ones, man. She was funny, dude.
Yeah. Now, what's cool about all that is they are the SNL for kids because they had musical guests.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
TLC did the theme song for them
when they were hot.
It's one of the greatest theme songs that's ever been made.
Yep, and Good Burger. That's a great call out.
Welcome to They're making a sequel to that. They're making a sequel. You heard that?
Yep, I heard that.
The movie was horrific, but the sketch on all that was hilarious.
Oh, it's fantastic. Yeah, you can't take that sketch and turn it into a movie though. Really,
I love the library. Like with Lori Beth, like that
smashing the stapler.
Yeah.
This is a library.
Being inordinately loud.
What's she doing these days? Is she
I don't know. Why don't you call her up, Kyle? You seem real interested in what Lori Beth is up to.
No clue what she's doing.
DM her right after this.
Shit, man. Let's look her up. We'll connect you two. You can hit up Lori Beth. We'll see what she's up to.
The royalty checks are still rolling in, I'm sure.
Probably on Cameo or something.
Oh yeah, probably got an OnlyFans. All right.
Wow.
What is happening?
She's probably sitting at home like, I'm a mayor. God damn it. OnlyFans.
Number 3, Donnelly.
That was my number 3.
He just went.
Kyle's number 3 now.
Kyle, number 3. Who's hosting this show?
I got it.
Lori Beth Denberg.
All right, so now we're in your favorite podium position, Tim. So we got to go Rugrats, man. They went 91 to 04.
Yeah.
Wow, they did. They went that long. That's impressive. I didn't realize they made seasons. But then Dill Pickles came along and things started changing.
Right. Then they started to grow up a little bit.
The movies were good.
Yeah. The song in 98, that hip hop song, that was pretty good.
I don't know what the hip hop song. What?
They had a song in 98. R-U-G. They spelled it out.
Chucky Finster dropped that label.
For some reason I don't remember that.
They had a rap song in 98. I'm telling you, look it up.
Oh, I believe you. I know better than to question you on dates and things that are happening.
When that movie came out in 98, I mean, that was just a show. You look. I know it was discussed on a previous episode about the 90s and stuff like that, but man, just looking at the adults now, like you can just relate, dude. Like you're watching you just look at the adults now.
They did a good job of making the adults believable, and they act like they were genuinely overwhelmed sometimes. You could see it, and the kids would be like, "All right, I guess I'm gonna go do my own thing," and then they would have their adventure. Yeah, it's perfect.
Except the fact I saw something on social media. I don't know if it was Facebook or what. Yeah. But it showed the parents of the Rugrats, and it's like we were led to believe that Stu Pickles and was it Dee Dee Pickles?
Dee Dee
were 33 years old in this photo, and you look at them, they look like they're at least in their 50s or 60s.
Dude, they are so strung out looking.
Yes,
that was back when Led was in all the
shadow. His tie's all disheveled. Dee Dee's what's that haircut going on there?
Yep.
They had bomb shelter parents.
That's another one that they did reboot. They rebooted that one as well, and they completely changed the parents' personas. They really switched everything around. Grandpa is no longer fall asleep in the back lawn while watching the kids.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought Chucky was the man, best character.
Chucky Finster.
Chucky was the man.
Chucky was the man.
But just for how long it went, and again, it was one of the original animated shows. Yeah.
I heard it's a little bit rough to revisit, but I bet that's a lot to do with the picture perspective, like the change in that.
When that came out, you just felt good.
Yeah, I tell you, my kids still have watched the original Rugrats and have thoroughly appreciated it and enjoyed.
Oh, okay,
watching
good.
it. Yeah,
That's good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
3, 2,
Dan's number 2.
2.
2, yep.
Donnelly, you want to? Why don't you take over?
Man, cut him
Oh, man.
off.
Who loves orange soda?
Oh, Kel loves orange soda.
That he
Oh,
does.
there you
Kel loves orange soda more than any mortal should love orange soda.
Is it true?
Yeah, Keenan and Kel, I mean, they picked up right where all that left off for me, where like, you know, it was the closest you were going to get to some skits, but like they wove in kind of a narrative and like, you know, they got into trouble and they had to learn lessons, but it was always such a Mr. Bean or like, you know, they always just, it was so funny the way that they would get themselves into situations where they had to just either lie or like hurt themselves to get out of, like when they got stuck in the fence. You know, one of them Cal got stuck in the fence and like they were going to be late for a show and they have to try to figure out how to get out. And it's just like they would go through so many different hoops when all they had to do was ask like one person for help right up front and it would have been solved immediately. Like,
Yep.
They did. Yeah, the show is so formulaic that way, but in the best way. Like,
oh, I love the shopkeep owner, whoever ran their little market that they worked in.
No work ever got done when they were around.
God.
And he was so exacerbated all the time. And you could see that, but he would just give up and be like, they're kids. What am I going to do? Hit them? Like, I have to just deal with it. Like, yeah.
I respect
Keenan
it.
and Kel. Number 2.
What's Kel doing these days, by the way? What's he doing?
I don't know. Call him up.
He'll be doing Good Burger now.
He was. Didn't he just have a cameo on SNL a couple weeks back?
Yeah.
Oh, did he? Okay.
I haven't watched Saturday Night Live basically since Chris Farley died. So
Wow.
There's been a lot of good ones.
It's actually been all right lately.
Yeah. They're starting to
You're
come
only
back
as good
into
as
it.
your host, man. But, yeah.
no, that's not true. The cast
is what sells it. The cast is what makes the show. The host will come and go, but the cast
And
is what
it's
makes the
getting
show.
better now. It is.
The cast is getting better. Ooh.
I think so. I think the Californians is a hilarious skit. Like there are some good segments on there for sure.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'm not going to say it's as good as it was. It's
Right.
not.
Tim,
but-
I'm with you. 90s SNL cast all day, bro.
80s and 90s. He loves orange soda almost as much as Tim loves McDonald's Coke. I don't know, man. There's
All right.
nothing. Yeah, I don't know. That'd be a close one. That'd be a tight.
I mean, Kel will literally rob a bank for a 2-liter of orange soda.
I was desperate enough.
Sorry. I was just so thirsty.
Do you think they made it orange soda for Nickelodeon Orange? You think that's tied in?
Could be, or Kel Mitchell just genuinely loves orange soda.
Yeah.
Oh, that could have been like an orange plug. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Trying to brain control the children. More orange. Saturate with more orange.
You hear that, Tim? The host will come and come and go, kind of like I am tonight. I'm just coming and going. But you know,
You with us?
Yep. And speaking
It's
of
all
that,
at McDonald's, bro.
you're number 2, buddy.
honestly, I'm not gonna lie. The McDonald's,
Threw you off?
it put me down a little bit. I ate that immediately before the show, and it's a struggle over here.
It's weighing you down.
McDonald's doesn't fill you up. It humbles you.
It definitely,
That's a great way to
It
put
shows
it.
you right where you are as a
Life
mortal on this
decision.
plane. Yeah.
that's great. Oh my god. Number 2. So my number 2 is. I wish I had a match. I would light the match and hold it up. But
yes.
Are You Afraid of the Dark? I mean, the fact that like,
Submitted for your approval. of the
yeah.
Midnight Society.
Listen, Are You Afraid of the Dark? We already discussed it, so I'm not gonna like beat a dead horse. But game changer for a horror-esque show as a kid. It was insane. It was groundbreaking. There you go.
All right. We don't have slime, but we got a lighter.
And you know what Are You Afraid of the Dark was for me? It was Goosebumps
It was.
in live action.
Mhm.
Because I read all the Goosebumps books back when I could read books. I can't
That's the
read
last
anymore.
book I read, too.
And then
Camp
I read
Jelly
the
Jam
whole- I read
was a
the
banger.
whole series, every original series that came out. And then they started coming out with the ones where you could choose which
Yeah,
chapter.
choose your own adventure.
Yeah,
Mhm.
you
Yes, they
choose your
did.
own adventure. So if you decide on this thing, it takes you down this path. You decide over here, it takes you down a different story.
Those were
That
the
was around the
best.
downfall of it. Those were good, but after that, it kind of went downhill. But I remember thinking, when Are You Afraid of the Dark premiered, in my head, I'm like, this just feels like what Goosebumps was as a book series, and we're getting it on TV.
Mhm.
And that's
Well,
what I
well, dude.
attributed it to. And it was really, really exciting for me growing up.
There was a plot where they took the picture, then it would happen. Like I was like, that was in
Yeah.
the Goosebumps book.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
I don't know
Cheese
who
and
ripped
die.
off who.
That was
Yeah.
Say Cheese and Die. Yep.
Who ripped
Oh,
off
Say
who?
Cheese and Die
R.L.
was so
Stine
good.
That plot was ripped with Goosebumps.
Yep.
That's awesome.
So
God.
my number 2.
Donnelly, number 2. Yep.
My number 2 is a fantastic show, 3 seasons, 34 episodes, and I always wish there was more. The problem was it was so hard to find out when it was on because they kept moving the time slot around. The Adventures of Pete and Pete.
Mhm.
Number 2.
So
Wow.
good.
Pete and Pete.
Oh, I love
Those
it.
redheads.
I loved it.
Those
it's,
gingers.
listen, it was a
Yes.
show in my eyes. It was a show about brotherly bonds and urban legends. Like they created all of their own urban legends. You had Artie, the strongest man in the world, who had a telepathic gerbil inside of his bowling ball that he would send down the bowling lane and then send it right into the strike, you know?
It was that
had-
childhood, like it was the only plausible explanation to their kid brains was like,
Yes.
well, of course he has a telepathic ghost gerbil guiding it because he's too good. There's no other way.
And he wasn't like they saw that guy pick up cars. Look at how skinny Artie was. This dude was picking up cars. Come on. But he did it. And then, you know, all the other stuff with like, there was something that had to do with garage door openers in one episode. He stays home sick. And then they found the band in the garage. There was all kinds of great episodes of stuff when he gets stuff stuck in his belly button. He sent it out with such force that it sent a shockwave. Like, oh, he hit
Yeah,
the
it was
guitar
kid
and-
lore. It was a show
Yeah.
about kid lore.
Yeah, that's
It was
right.
so
She looked
good.
at the sun to sneeze. And that had Michelle Trachtenberg was on it. She had the candy necklace.
Oh my
Oh,
And then you
god.
had
Michelle
villains like Paper
Trachtenberg,
Cut,
right?
who would
Yeah.
do origami and then throw it at you and you would be
Yes.
sliced.
Yes.
Like, come on.
Pit Stain, he was always chasing you. For some
Stain.
reason.
Yes.
Pit
He
Stain.
was just like, he's like, dude, drink
Pit
some water,
Stain.
bro. You're sweating pure salt
Yes.
crystals out of your
Mom with
body.
a metal plate in her head, yeah.
That's
Yeah,
right.
and
Yeah.
in the actual opening scene, she was credited like it was like the plate, and it was like
Yeah.
it would give her like a
It
Oh
was.
my god.
featuring guest appearance from the plate.
Yep. So yeah, fantastic show.
Good
Number
time.
2 for me.
Yes.
I respect it. It was a near miss. It did not make my list, but man, was that a tough one to leave off.
It made my first draft.
If this was a top 6, I think that would have been at the number 6 spot. It was a real near miss. So I respect the hell out of Adventures of Pete and Pete. Or number 2 now on to Kyle, right? Number 2.
Yep. Yeah, it's been previously mentioned. Gonna go with all that. It was the transition from, you know, kind of like being like a little kid to, you know, getting a little older, starting to understand some jokes and some references. I mean, we got Lori Beth there. we got
Holding it down
we
with
got
Lori
Keenan
Beth Denver.
Really did. You just wanted her to yell at you to be quiet. You were dreaming of
Yeah.
that, weren't you?
After
it
the
just was
show,
like, it was hip and cool, man.
I'm going to
Super
clip
cool.
out all
An
your
elevator.
talk about Lori Beth. I'm going to clip it all into one video and I'm going to send it to her on Twitter.
Email it to Cameo, get a free one.
I am
Yeah,
all on
exactly.
board for this idea.
Yeah. I'm
was
gonna
she walking around with Amanda Bynes? What's going on?
You're pushing for Lori Beth.
Am I shooting my shot? What's
You
happening?
are shooting your.
Well, Lori
Shot
Beth showed up
has
with
been-
Danny Trachtenberg when they did that relaunch, where they were hosting like reruns of the All That show, and they were
Yes,
doing
I
little.
remember that.
Yeah, so they were on it together, and they were still, you know, doing their thing. They're the same people as always. I know Danny What was it?
Woo!
What the hell is his last
Danny
name?
Tamborelli.
Tamborelli, thank you. Not Trachtenberg.
Tamborelli. Oh my
Tamborelli.
God, yeah.
So I know he's in a band. So that's like his main gig now is he's in a band. But yeah, I don't know what Lori Beth does.
It was a transition, you know, being a kid to.
There you go,
that-
Kyle.
is that
She's
real?
ordained.
All right. Wow.
Oh, there we go. See,
Not as
I said
exciting
mayor,
as
but
I thought.
Right up your alley, man.
she's
It
legally
was just-
able to make it happen.
Yeah, it was just a nice transition, you know, as you're growing up. You know, they were, you know, bringing the comedy heat, man. Keenan and Kel. It just was a nice transition from the tunes to, you know, like an SNL for us.
Mhm.
So,
Agreed.
number 2,
Yep, great
all
show.
that.
Number
right.
2
Oh yeah.
or number 1.
Number
Daniel.
ones now, yeah.
The number 1 slot,
Number
best
1.
Maynickelodeon show of all time in your
All the
humble
marbles.
opinion.
All that.
All that.
All that was number 1.
There you
All
go.
right.
Okay. What's because of Lori Beth? Or what?
It is definitely Lori Beth. She's doing so much heavy lifting on that show. She was a stalwart addition. She never went anywhere.
There-
No, all that. It was the best. It was kids got a chance to do their imitation of adults for other kids. Basically, like, you know how you be in school and the library and be louder than you be. Like, it's one of those, like, you know, it's like, remember they just do little skits about that, and it was a great place for kids to like be like, yeah, like, you know, it's like the kid outrage was unanimous and universal, so it was funny to them. Kind of like how for adults SNL is funny to adults because they can relate to certain social situations, or, you know, so it hit that same vein for kids, being like, you know, that's how we feel when we're watching a, you know, Food Network, is like just putting random garbage together. So you have this guy whipping chocolate sauce into everything, throwing it everywhere and just dumping it in it. Like, you know, it was just a goof show. And it was, I mean, it had the best intro, I think, of any show. Like, if you listen to the intro, you're going to be in a better mood, period.
You know, what's funny is that, Tim, you're on mute.
Was it the best intro?
I think it was one of the best intros.
Top two? I'll say top two.
I'll say, though, remember the stage manager and how they all treated the stage manager, Kevin, I think his name was? He would come in and he had his headset on. He'd be like, 5 minutes, 5 minutes. And then they would all like prank him and let him
like, oh, I better get
it's
ready.
A product of the time, man. It's 90s all day.
Yeah, like they'd finish the makeup in the chair and he'd come over. He'd say 5 minutes, guys. And then one of them would just take like chocolate and just dump it on their head and be like, the makeup person has to now redo it all. And he'd be like, why do I even bother with you people?
Exactly. It falls right into what you were just saying, though, about that's what kids would want to do with those situations. You know, be able to televise that and vicariously live through that show was why it's so important to us.
Yeah.
Well, so this is a perfect segue. Okay, we're gonna get to my number one, which is obviously the reason we're all here.
Oh, clearly.
So here's the deal.
And talk about McDonald's.
Here's the deal.
They need the money.
We talk about all that, right? And we mentioned how it's the SNL for kids. Okay. Now, what was the adult show that everybody liked? Was it American Gladiators? It was something like that, if I recall. And there's one show that has not been discussed tonight. Nickelodeon, the kids version of exactly what I just mentioned. And look, you mentioned intros. Let's just throw it up. Copyrights be damned.
Oh, yeah.
You have it.
They're going to be coming for you.
From Nickelodeon Studios in Orlando, Florida.
The aggro crag.
The aggro crag frustrated the hell out of me. I'd see that and be like, how can you not get up that thing?
Guts. And it's on none of your lists.
Nope. Didn't make any of my
It's
lists.
on none of
It was on my
your
first list, but then I was like, the game shows, like, you know, they are good. They are good, but
Guts was a game changer. What was her name? Mo, the referee, when she was describing
Michael
the
Malley.
aggro crag at the end, and she would basically explain the rules and say each of the contestants would make their way up their side of the crag, hitting one of each of 6 targets. Yes. And then you went to Mike O'Malley, who graduated from University of New Hampshire in Durham, New Hampshire.
There's the tie-in.
Also had a very successful career in television after the fact.
He did.
And Mike O'Malley. Global Guts came after Guts. It was a huge success, and it's synonymous with Nickelodeon.
You know, I think that the whole reason why Guts was created was part of the Presidential Fitness for Kids program that was going on in the 90s. Yep. And this was Nickelodeon's way of getting a piece of that.
I could see that. Like, we gotta slim these kids down. What are they gonna win? Exercise equipment. At the top of that mountain is exercise equipment. Have you seen these fat kids? I'm so sorry, Tim. Get out. Yeah, he's out. Yeah, these kids are fat though. They need to work out. That was the extent of the presidential fitness thing. It was like, you better be able to do 20 sit-ups, 20 pull-ups, 20.
Well, this was also a time when like Heavyweights as a movie was up.
Yeah,
there,
exactly.
That was being pushed, which is great, by the way.
And the way that they would help kids
Disney
back then
Plus
was just making fun of them. That was
Wild and Crazy Kids was another one. Didn't make my list, but that was a great show.
Wild.
I know we all left out game shows, but let's finish this and let's get into some of our near misses. Donnelly, what's your number one?
My number one, we've already beaten it down so much with everything we've talked about it. Are You Afraid of the Dark? I'm a horror fan to this day. I watch the Twilight Zone every time Sci-Fi Channel does a marathon. I'm watching all of that.
Yeah.
I was pumped about the reboot for it, and I thought it was pretty decent. Apparently, there's even another season coming for the reboot, so I'm excited for that. But yeah, Are You Afraid of the Dark? Without a doubt, number one.
it's a great segue to get a kid into the horror genre. Like that's probably where I'm going to start with my kid, because, you know, he loves scary stuff, and I know he would like the creepy stories that, you know, that go with it. Like, yeah.
Yep. And it still
Those
stands
are all on Paramount Plus, right?
Don't dip your toes in. Just jump in, throw on the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And just
Dude,
do it the right way.
the first thing I
No,
saw was
screw around.
Beetlejuice.
Just gonna
You know, I
jump
saw
in.
with Beetlejuice.
Like you can walk down the stairs into the pool, or you
Scream.
can dive in and skin your knees on that rough bottom.
Well, if you're
Two ways
feeling
to
really
do it.
tough, Tim, if you're feeling really tough tonight, before bed, turn off all your lights and put on the intro to Who's Afraid of the Dark, and just close your eyes and tell me you're not scared.
Oh, I will be.
There's some eerie shit.
It is. The hair on your back,
music,
your
I'll
neck
tell
will
you
stand
that.
up.
Some
Yep.
eerie.
Whatever that is, that cello, that.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
And then the
yeah.
waves hitting the boat,
Yep.
and then
It
the
was
clown, the fan slowly moving in the dude, the whole thing
Oh
was
my
so
god.
It's creepy
Yeah.
as shit.
so goblinified.
Well, I'm real interested here. Number one.
Yeah,
Kyle.
Kyle, what do you got?
A cultural touchstone. So Matt Groening from Simpsons said this was the only other good cartoon on TV at the time. We got Ren and Stimpy. Dan, that's for you, buddy.
Thank you.
Tim, I thought way too low with the sexual innuendos, dark humor. You know,
Remember when they were the
original
nipple salesman?
Nicktoon, 91 and 95, man. It was
Yeah.
just, you didn't see anything like that before as a kid. Like,
Right. Bob
you know, they
Camp.
thought Simpsons was edgy. God damn.
Yeah.
I collected the cards. Dude, I
had Ren and
I just think
Stimpy
it's
cards?
hopeless. I had Ren and Stimpy cards, man. I remember collecting those, dude.
That's awesome.
I didn't know
I
those
had 'em.
existed.
They existed, bro. I had them.
Yep.
I had them. I
That's
collected
awesome.
the whole set. Dude, there was just nothing like it. It changed the game, like, bro.
Yeah.
Number one by a mile. Ren and Stimpy, dude.
I respect
Just-
it.
Yeah, man.
It would be my number one if I didn't put it up there on the last one for
Yeah.
sure. Because it was like, yeah, it's like for me, it's Ren and Stimpy. It's all
Yeah.
that. Like that's just like where it's at. Like that's it. That's all I need.
Cult classic, bro. Cult
Yeah.
classic.
And
That's all you
listen,
need.
I gotta hand it to the chat here before we wrap up.
There's some
Like
great call outs.
there are
they're
some
calling a lot of
amazing
it.
call outs, and here's the deal.
Good call outs going on. All right.
A lot of good call outs going on. Look, we've got
Yeah,
call
Double
outs like
Dare.
Doug. We've got
I
Double
didn't go
Dare.
Doug
We've got
because Disney took over with ABC, so it wasn't like
doesn't matter. It was a
Nickelodeon.
Nickelodeon
But original
show.
Doug was better
It
than
was.
Disney
It
Doug.
started there.
Yeah.
True.
Mhm.
True. That,
Oh, yeah.
that Disney
Yep.
Doug sucked. But yeah.
Double
I didn't
Dare.
go that way. That's why I didn't go that way.
You've got Figure It Out with Summer Sanders
Oh,
and
that was
Billy
great, yep.
Dancerhead.
Summer
You've got
Sanders.
Let's shout out
obviously-
Mark Summer, man.
Wasn't there
Yeah.
What Would You Do? You remember that one? What Would You Do?
I do remember what would you do, yeah.
would you do? Yeah,
would you
I sure do.
was a great
There's
one.
so many Legends of the Hidden Temple. We talked about it earlier. I mean, there's so many Nickelodeon shows, and what's great is like, and I
Stop
felt
it, the list
guilty.
was so short.
I felt guilty leaving a show like Doug off, but what I tried to do was really align my list with like true Nickelodeon feel and true Nickelodeon vibe. And
Mhm.
like when I
Yeah.
think of Doug, I just consider it one of the best cartoons of all time, and that's
Yeah.
why I ranked it in my top 3
Mhm.
on our ranking a few weeks back when we talked 90s cartoons.
Mhm.
But synonymous with Nickelodeon, it is, but in my head, I guess that's how I justified leaving it free of the list.
Yeah, Hey Dude. That's a great
Hey,
one.
dude, that's a great
Hey,
one.
dude.
Drake and Josh.
It's a little wild and a little strange.
Hey
Drake
Dude.
and Josh, didn't something go down with them? Something.
And here's the deal.
Yeah.
Another one.
Drake
No
is
Rocco's
messed
Modern
up.
Life.
Okay.
Rocco's Modern Life, another one. It was
Yeah.
number 1, I believe, or
Yeah.
number 2. It was
It
up
was
there.
in the
It was
top
high
two
up
last
before,
You
yeah.
mentioned it before.
Rocco's
in the
was-
I'll tell you,
previous 90s.
Tyler's got a good call out in there, and it was a near miss for me. But Nick Arcade,
Mhm.
Yeah,
Nick,
that
you
was
actually
really
went
good.
in
Yo,
the video
Nick
game. You
Arcade,
went in
bro.
the video game, and I'm sitting there
Nick
like, I'm so
Arcade.
good at video games. These kids suck. Like I could do that. I want to win that Game Boy,
Yeah.
power package that they're giving away with it.
Yeah.
Nick
You watch
Arcade.
them platform, they're just falling down. You're like,
Yeah.
you've never
I'm like,
smushed
how
a Goomba in your life.
In all
Everywhere.
actuality, they're watching themselves on a screen with a blue. They're using a blue screen or green screen
Who
beside them.
hosted Nick Arcade?
It's
Who
got to
hosted
be next
that?
to impossible to do now, knowing how it all works as an
Oh,
adult.
I'm sure it
Like,
was
yeah,
extremely
no
hard.
wonder nobody ever won.
Yeah.
Who hosted Nick Arcade? Who hosted that? Do we know?
I don't know.
Was it Lori Beth or was she?
It could have been
ordained at
Lori
that
Beth
point?
Denberg, actually.
Shut
Now that
up.
we mention it.
It was actually the Grumble. It was the Grumbles
Dude,
for
No, it was
the Grumbles
Ferguson.
for high heel shoes.
Ferguson.
Six high heel shoes.
Yep.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure Ferguson was the host. Donnelly, you got any
Okay, that's cool. That's cool.
you got any hard hitters for us tonight before we call this a night?
You know, I do have one thing I wanted to share with you guys and kind of ask you a question, because you know sometimes when you're not trying to look professional, you'll tuck your shirt into your pants, right? But if you don't do that, are your pants tucked into your shirt?
Yes, I suppose they are.
Do you ever think about that?
An upside down gentleman. At that
I would
point.
say no, because there's nothing you need to do to make that happen. There's no tucking in that's involved.
I mean, I can certainly pull my pants on and get my shirt tucked without doing anything too.
Sometimes I do half and half.
You know what I never understood was the people that tuck their shirt in the front and let it hang in the back, like they were trying to be stylistic. You see that a lot with like t-shirts.
It's tucked in, but I'm cool.
Front end. Like, look at my belt buckle.
I'm the cool substitute teacher.
I feel like if you
It's
go
like
to a
dress
county
like a
fair-
mullet.
you go to a county fair,
like a
you're going to see
mullet.
that a dime a dozen.
Dressed like a mullet.
That's something Butnick would do.
Buttnick.
That's for Big Len.
Friggin'
Big Len is
Butnick.
my father. I think that's where he learned to fart in elevators. No, Len did not learn that. I'm pretty sure Len invented that.
I'm going to vent a little box, Tim. You're going to have to get in it.
He had the uncanny ability to just on cue let out a fart in any elevator situation.
That's fantastic.
The second those doors closed, didn't matter.
Well, you know, you think
He
about
could
it.
Should have
work
pressed all the
one out.
buttons too.
But
All the
here's the
buttons,
thing:
and
he
someone
does it,
just
and then he
swats
eats
it.
it, right? The next people coming in, and then you're in the
Sorry.
elevator now. You smell it. You get to the next floor, and someone else comes on, and you're like, "It wasn't me."
It
You
was
know?
so- it was
Nobody's gonna
so-
believe you
it
at
was
that
Not
point.
what
You just
you're thinking.
you
was
pretend
so
like it didn't
embarrassing.
happen. That's what you do.
It was so embarrassing, and it was horrendous. He used to put the windows up in the car, and when they first came out with the technology to
Put 'em in
lock the
child
windows,
lock.
he'd lock the windows so he'd hotbox us.
He's
That
just
is
laughing in the
amazing.
front
Your dad's
seat.
a little bit of my hero right now.
Yeah, one more. I mean, it wouldn't be an episode of Nerdstalgia Live if we didn't talk farts and shits. So one more. My favorite
Just for
Len-
shits.
my favorite Lenism is what I'll call it. Is
Lend me a Lenism.
I'd be sitting on the couch watching Rugrats, as I did, or I'd be playing, Mario Kart, driving in the railroad track tunnel and waiting for it to end, and it never did. And all of a sudden, I would hear, "Hey, Timmy, come here, quick!" She'd call me down the hall into the bathroom. Timmy, look at this. Look at the size of that spider. Look at that spider over there. And I'm like, "Where's the spider? Where is it?" And as I'm looking for it, it's just this crap sitting in the toilet. And he's laughing his ass off. And I'm like,
Oh, that is
why did I fall for that
fantastic.
for the 17th time?
I think that's just
never a
one leg,
spider.
Timmy.
There's never a spider. But yet I just kept going for
Never a
it.
spider.
Maybe this time there'll be a snake or a spider. The only snake was the one coiled up
No, it's
inside
Oh,
the
poops.
that's so
toilet.
good.
Poops all the way down.
Oh, I respect the hell out of that. And I'm going to pass that on to my kids, and I hope my kids pass that on to theirs. It's going to be one of those traditions. As he would say, and as most of my family would agree, you can tell me the funniest joke you've ever heard, but there'll never be anything funnier than a fart.
That's
Because
true.
there's nothing funnier than a fart.
I'm right
It's
there.
a,
with you.
it's
I
a
will
universal
never-
language. Like
It
No
is.
matter how old I get, I will never not find farts funny.
No,
That's true.
For the
I'm
rest of my life. I can't
I'm
wait
a-
to fart with my grandkids.
absolutely. I'm an adult, and if I'm in a public bathroom and somebody in the urinal a few over lets one rip, I laugh every
Every
single
I
time.
can't hold it back. Just talking
I don't
about
care.
it, I'm laughing.
I don't even try not to anymore. I it's always a usually I get a look, but
Grow up. You grow up. You're the one ripping ass. How dare you?
that's not funny to you. Okay,
Yeah.
you have problems.
dare
You're
you.
the one with issues.
Yeah. You're the one
Kyle-
wasting them. You're not even laughing about it. If you're going to do those, at least use them.
But listen, Nickelodeon, great discussion tonight. Anybody have any final thoughts before we get on out of here?
I don't know whether I want some McDonald's, shoot my shot with Lori Beth, or watch some of You Afraid of the Dark on Paramount Plus. But
How
great,
much chapstick
great
you
talk,
got?
gentlemen.
Wait, are you Afraid of the Dark on Paramount Plus?
The new one is. I don't know if the old episodes are, but the reboot is.
I might check that out.
Yeah,
It's not bad.
little world.
It's not bad.
I might check it out.
It's not like the old one where each episode is its own story. It's not what do they call it? Anthology series. It's
Okay.
one season is a full story.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
Mhm.
That's different.
Yeah.
All right. I'll check it out. Anybody else? Any final thoughts before we get on here?
Wienerville.
Wienerville. Mark
Wienerville.
Wiener. Yes, I totally
Mark Wiener
forgot
was
about
Wiener.
Wienerville. Oh my god.
I couldn't let this pass
Out of the
without mentioning
woodwork with that one, Dan.
Dude, that show was phenomenal. Like, it was just nonsense. They would make the worst slapdash
Most likely.
puppets. They would
Dude,
build
yes,
them
his
like
head inside of the little puppets. Oh
yeah,
my
the
gosh.
interns would probably build them like 20 minutes before the show. They'd still be
Right.
like air drying the glue as they're bringing them
Yep.
out. They're like, oh, it's Grandma Crabapple, and her hair would just like fall off, and then she'd
How
just
did that
fall
become
down
a thing?
and
How
then
did
catch
he
on
get that
fire.
shit?
And like, yeah, that's Grandma Crabapple, and they would move on with the show. You're like, what the hell is that?
It's like they must have been so desperate for content back then. They put
They
everything.
would just do
out.
whatever. And Mark Wiener would like, he would do a really good job of just
Mark
vamping
Wiener.
and coming up with stuff on the fly. Like, he was, because that was also in front of a studio audience, so the kids would get all worked up and like they'd be cheering and like he would go crazy and like he'd put a helmet on and just run through the wall. Like, it made no sense, but it was exactly what kids wanted, and he knew it. Like, he knew exactly what to do.
That's
Hey,
a great
Tim,
call
Mr.
out.
New Hampshire,
Totally
how did
understand.
we not talk about Nickelodeon purchasing the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles back in 2009? How
Oh,
did we
it's
not talk about that?
2009. That's
Yeah,
fine.
I know. We're going back, but shout out Nickelodeon for keeping the Ninja Turtles alive and well.
Yeah, they also bought Alvin and the Chipmunks, and they're keeping that alive and well.
They can keep that.
Yeah.
Right?
They can squeak that right up there.
Yeah, get that. But yeah, man,
Yeah.
major purchase kept them going. So shout out to Nickelodeon.
That's amazing. Well, that being said, if nobody has anything else, great show tonight, everybody. I want to thank everybody for joining us live. We are here every Monday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you're not already subscribed, one of the things I look at is the view count on these videos that we post, and it looks like a third of the people who watch our content are not subscribed. If you're enjoying and you're watching, please hit that button. It helps us out a ton. We're every attempt, we're trying to grow the channel as much as we can. And if you're not already in our Facebook group at Nerdstalgia Pod on Facebook, join that group and give us some feedback. Let us know what you want us to discuss. Let us know what you want us to rank. Our top 5 live is every Monday night. We need ideas and we want your feedback of what we can rank. It's a good discussion for all of us. We love the interactivity of all of you in chat. So keep that going. Thank you all. For Dan, for Kyle, for Donnelly, I am Tim.
100 subscribers, baby.
100
Same
subscribers.
mark.
Thank you all for joining us, and
Thank
have yourselves a great night. We're going to leave you with an image as we leave here tonight.
Yeah.
There we go.
The golden god herself.